All right, you guys, back at it. Got something cool to show you today. Well, first things first, again, thank you all so much for those of you who bought stickers. Just wanted to show you again, Refined Movement 4x4 vinyl sticker, $6, shipped anywhere in the world. And thank you so much to those of you who bought them already. But if you don't have one, pick one up. We sure appreciate it. To give you all a quick recap, I believe the head gasket is going in this car. A lot of you raised some really good points to where maybe there are other issues, possible just leaks that I'm just not seeing, like maybe the water pump, something like that. Maybe even the radiator fan's not turning on, the radiator itself is bad, all different things that it could be. The end result is the same. This engine sucks. And there are so many things that are just wrong or going wrong or just Frankenstein together that frankly, it just drives me nuts. This engine is nowhere near in time, and not just the mechanical timing, but the ignition timing. If you see here, this has always been like this. It has always been fully pushed towards the car. I'm sorry, I forget which way that is, advanced or retarded. But the ignition timing has always been off. And that's just to get this car to run. And I believe that's because the people who did this head swap never changed the crank pulley bolt out. You need to change out the crank pulley bolt to be the B7 crank pulley bolt, so then you can set the proper ignition timing as well. And this has always been off. If you see right here, just to give you a quick little bit, 12 degrees before top dead center, plus or minus 2 degrees there. That's for the B8. For the B7, it should be 16 degrees before top dead center, plus or minus 2 degrees there. And so this thing is just off, man. I don't know how much power I'm losing because of that. Maybe it's not far off, but this engine has just always been wrong. And so that's why I don't really ever want to put any major time and effort into it. Well, some of you guys suggested, just go ahead and pull the cylinder head off, do the head gasket repair, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I could do it, but it would cost a couple $100 at the end of the day. I don't know. It's not money nor time I want to put my effort into. So there you go, D16 Z6. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, I'm really happy with it, man. And I really hope that this just works out and I can put it in and everything's gonna be gravy. This is gonna be my path for now. You all know that before I was asking for if anyone had an inexpensive engine or anything like that. And I just wanna say thank you to everyone that responded because there were a lot of people who reached out to me, you guys. And a couple people offered me a free engine. However, the problem with that was that they were farther away, and I had to go drive and get it or have it shipped, and it just wasn't worth it. But Alex Levinson, I just want to say, you the man. It was really nice talking to you. I sincerely appreciate your offer, man. And a couple other guys, someone offered me a head from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, I forget the name at the moment, but just thank you. Everyone who showed support, just sincerely, thank you. It was really nice, really humbling, But so there's a guy out in California who I've only ever spoke to through Instagram, one of our followers, Jamie. He lives out in California and he drives VTEC Club, I believe it is. And then just all the local events out at Big Willow, I'm pretty sure is where he races. And yeah, he sent me the link to this engine, which is in Florida. Jamie, thank you, man. I told you over the text there, but thank you. This is really cool. Obviously, I don't know if everything works yet. We'll get it in, all that, blah, blah, blah. But really cool, man. And I just want to say that this community is super cool, you guys. Having this community that Travis and I have built with Refined Movement is really awesome. And the majority of everyone is really cool. And yeah, just thanks, man. All right, so let me go ahead and show you everything that I picked up with this deal. 280 bucks is what we ended up settling on. Let me show you what we got. Here's everything that I got with the deal. D16 Z6 long block, complete with the distributor, clutch, flywheel, VTEC solenoid, all that kind of stuff, and the exhaust header. This is a 4 to 2 to 1. I'm pretty sure that's how this would still be classified, right? 4, 2, 1. So that's some aftermarket, probably eBay, whatever header. But it's definitely better than the cast iron piece that I have on my car right now. But so also, he included this Mishimoto radiator. It looks pretty beat up, as you'll see, but he claims that it works fine. This is actually a dual core, which is much better than what I have in the car right now. This cap, I don't know about this. I would definitely still use a better Honda cap for that. But so also included was the fan on the back of that and the upper lower radiator hose, which I don't know, I'll see the condition of those and compare it against the ones that I have. But so Mishimoto radiator and then the 2 axles. So all that right there, 280 bucks. And I should also mention that actually this cost a bit more total, but Travis had a hand in this too. There was a transmission linked up with this as well. And so he was originally asking $400 for it. Originally he was asking $500, but then we talked and we got down to $400. And then Trav took the transmission for $100, and I talked this guy out of another 20 bucks. So I ended up with $280 for this stuff here. But so Trav has a new Z6 transmission that he'll be using in his car because his third gear is crunchy, as he describes it. So you don't want to be opening a bag of potato chips every time you're shifting, do you? So as we all know by now, I am not a mechanic. I have never had any experience in any of this stuff, but I'm learning as I go. I've never bought an engine before on its own, like out of a car. So I didn't really know what I was looking for. So of course I did my research, and I just wanted to share with you guys who are, maybe some of you are in the same spot as me. You don't know what you're looking at. You want to get an engine. How do you know it's good? You know, I don't know 100% either, so I'm not claiming these are the foolproof methods, but I learned some pretty cool things that I wanted to share on here as well. On what to do when you're looking to buy a used engine. One of the first things I did was check the oil. This actually has a lot of oil in it, according to the dipstick here. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is kind of leaning forward here now too, so maybe it looks like more than normal. But you'll just have to kind of take my word for it. The oil does look normal. It looks like it's been in there for a bit and used, but that's good. I don't think you want to see brand new oil in there because, you know, who knows? Maybe it hadn't been changed in forever and someone's trying to trick you and they're just putting brand new oil in there. The thing I did was I actually had taken these spark plugs out of these holes here. So these are all empty down in here. But when I took them out, I made sure that these plugs here, the spark tubes, weren't covered in oil. They weren't disgusting. And then down in those tubes there, I made sure that they weren't all, you know, covered in oil or anything like that. That can indicate some sort of problem as well. Okay, and these were the spark plugs that I took out. They seem pretty normal, I would think. You all tell me what you're seeing, but no oil covered on them or anything like that. They are kind of black, you know, up at the tip, but I think they've been in there for a while. There were the NGKs, so that's good. Only weird one I saw, this one had a little bit of green. See, on the tip there. I'm not sure what that is, but so that one had some green on it. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to mention that I definitely wanted to check that was highly recommended by my friend Brian, who you saw I drove his white EG in the other episode, and also a channel called VHB Engines. Pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with him. To test the bottom end health with the crankshaft and all, you want to go ahead and spin the crankshaft by using the crankshaft pulley. So a big thing with these D-series engines is spun bearings, right? I think it's very common on the Y7s and maybe even the Y8s. I'm not sure about the Z6s, but spun bearings is a big issue. And that's when there's bearings on the crankshaft and they're two like kind of half pieces. One of the pieces can break and kind of come over another part of the bearing, and then that will seize the crankshaft. And then if that seizes the crankshaft, obviously things aren't spinning. That's going to be a very bad bottom end of the block. It's not going to work. Maybe the head would still work, but yeah, spun bearing, that's a toast bottom end block. You got to rebuild it or get another one. So what I'm going to do here is show you is I just took my 17 millimeter on my half drive breaker bar, and you essentially just spin the crank. So put this in. I should mention, I had taken the spark plugs out. So there is no spark plugs in here. I've just removed these. So I'm going to move this up here a bit because that flywheel is going to turn. But you just go ahead and spin this thing. And you see how the crank is turning, the cam is turning. And you see the flywheel, it's spinning. So that's just me turning the crank using the socket. Everything just turns real nice. So good, everything's spinning freely, very good. All right, and so another thing that you can go ahead and do is take off the valve cover. Valve cover off, and here we go. Everything looks pretty normal. Again, I am not a mechanic. If you see something, you let me know. But everything seems to be in its place and looking as clean as it can look, really. Obviously, I'll be changing out the valve cover gasket, so don't scream at me about that just yet. Okay, so now to address the known problems that he was talking about. It does have an oil leak problem, and he did say a leak problem, not like a consumption problem. So he said he had never really looked into where it was coming from, but when we had actually taken the trans off of this thing, I'm pretty positive it's going to be the rear main seal. So again, when we got there, the transmission was connected to the block here, and when we had taken one of these bolts out, forget which one it was, either up here or down there, it was covered in a good amount of oil. And so then we looked in here further. Along the pressure plate, there was actually a bit of oil, like a ring kind of sitting here. I don't know if you can kind of still see that, but there was some oil around there. And then if you look all along the flywheel here, I don't know if that's just normal buildup or if that's some oil kind of gunk. But so I'm going to be taking that off. We'll get into that in another episode. And I'm definitely going to be changing out the rear main seal. And this kind of goes along with that too. Like, most everything seems to be pretty just normal wear and tear, but it seems to be more gross over here. And so that again makes me think that it's that rear main seal kind of leaking out, or that flywheel cover would be, and all kind of grime getting up in there. And so then the other known problem that I can see here at the minute on the VTEC solenoid here, this I believe is the pressure switch, right? Not this, but this right here, and obviously that is broke. So I need to go ahead and get that new part. I believe that was like 10 or 11 bucks that I saw online. This one here looks fine. I believe that's the power for the VTEC solenoid. So yeah, would need to go ahead and get that. There's no intake manifold nor throttle body included with this. So I'm gonna be looking up to see what this is, because I wonder if it's a Z6 intake manifold with a throttle body. I'm not sure. It might be from the B7. I need to look up some markings and determine what that is. So I may have to be using this intake manifold, fuel rail, all the injectors and stuff with the Z6, but again, I need to look into that. So let me know, can I do that? If that's a B7, obviously it might not be as good as a Z6, but will the injectors all still work the same? Let me know if you know. And so I guess another problem would be there is no ECU included. So this is the P06 ECU that I have, which is for the D15B7. So what I understand is I can take that and just get it chipped and then work for the VTEC, or I can look for the P28 ECU. Not quite sure, you let me know. So I just want to go ahead and address now, I know I'm going to have to put more money into this engine. Like, it's not just 280 bucks, put it in, and then I'm done. But so I know I'm going to have to invest some more money into this. And just to be frank with you all, B series would be really cool. I would love to get into a B20 with a B16, B18 transmission, something like that one day, or even a B18C, obviously, the GSR engine, Type R, whatever it was. That would be awesome. Even a B16 would be super cool. I really think I would have a ton of fun of it. But it's just the matter of fact is, for right now, it's just not in the cards. I could, just have kept saving my money, keep saving, blah, 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 doing my designs, working on that, saving up money, but it would take a lot more time. And for me, the priority is to get back out on track. But so a B series it's just not there right now. I see this car as a progression. I still feel that there's plenty of learn on the D series. And really, when you think about it, this is an upgrade. My B8, B7, Frankenstein, whatever, who knows how much power that thing was actually putting down, because like I said, it's nowhere near in time. And so just even getting this engine in time, this is rated at 125 horsepower and 106 torque. And that's about a 30 horsepower increase over that B7 thing that I've got, and at least 10 torque. So it's gonna be something to be, I don't know, totally felt. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But what's really cool too is it's going to be a bit more on par with Trav's car. I can notice how Trav's car pulls away coming out of them turns, and his car just sounds very good. Like it sounds like it's doing the best it can. And I just never felt like my engine was doing the best that it could. So this coupled with the Z6 transmission, I'm excited, man. I'm sure D series doesn't excite a lot of people, but for me, it's at this stage is really cool. And save the single overhead cam, right? So one thing I did want to say is my wife and I are going on a cruise here this next week, and we're going to be going all week. So I'm super looking forward to that, man. It's going to be freaking awesome. But so I'm not going to be putting up a video in the next week. Trav, I believe, has something for you all on the Monday that I'll be gone. But then even the next week, I'm not sure I'll have something for you because, I'm getting back on Sunday. Like it's Sunday to Sunday. So y'all are going to have to give me a minute on this, but make no mistake about it. I'm very excited to get working on this. And then we got a lot to do in that engine bay. But so when this comes out, I'm going to go ahead and take out the AC. So that's going to go. All of this is emptied. I just got to unbolt it really and get it on out of there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity to clean up the bay. You see how freaking disgusting it is. And it's always bothered me that it's so gross. But, how am I supposed to clean it up with all this crap in there? So once all that comes out, I'm going to be able to clean it up. And then hopefully shed some weight too. Get that AC out of there. But so here's all the stuff for now. D16 Z6, Mishimoto dual core, those axles, stock axles, but they look better than what I had. And then some, who knows what piece that is, probably some eBay stuff, but a nicer header than what I've got. So there it is, you guys. Gonna be cool. Looking forward to this project. Talk to y'all in the comments.
Hey.